Guys, it's Brindley. Whew, what a Monday, right? What a Monday. My friend posted today. Oh, I think I'm live now. I can never. Facebook's so funny, right? Hi, welcome Monday. Breakthrough with Brindley. I missed you guys last week. We were all celebrating Labor Day, and Labor Day is to celebrate not working. So sorry we missed you, and thanks to those that reached out. But I'm glad to be back this week. Wow, it was quite a Monday. I don't know if anyone else felt that way, but it was quite a Monday, and we survived. Congratulations! Here we are together, and I'm really excited. I'm pulling up my notes for today's call because I really wanted. This is really a topic that I struggle with. It's probably one of my biggest gaps and my biggest challenges, and anyone that knows me will tell you that. And that is being honest. It's the ability to be able to be honest, yet to do it in such a way that is loving and kind and not so direct and so poignant, I guess is a good word, or aggressive or assertive. And so there's a book called I Hear You. You can probably see that on my screen. Hi, Jenny. By the way, if you guys are here, drop a comment in so that I know you're here, like Jenny did, so I can say hi. But there's a book called I Hear You, and my dear friend Via Williams, who I will tag in this post, actually recommended this to me. And I always like to give people that are credit, and I've tagged a lot of people on this video tonight who are people that are not afraid to be honest. And so I say that there's really two types of friends that you can have. And I discovered this by having the type of friend that was also almost the opposite of actually what I wanted. And it wasn't until that friendship happened and passed that I realized that friendship wasn't set up for success because our values weren't in alignment. So for me to be in my closest circle, you have to be able to be honest with me. You have to be able to be direct with me. I don't like to be placated. I don't like to be validated just for the sake of making me feel better or buttering me up. You know, I'm very introspective. I want to work on myself. I constantly want to become better. And so I need people in my life that aren't afraid to tell me the truth. I don't want people in my life that co-sign my own BS. And we all know what BS stands for, right? So we all have had those individuals in our lives that will co-sign our BS, that when we are feeling a certain way or we justify that we're right and that our actions were right, we'll go to those friends that will tell us we're right. Yet the real friends are the ones that are going to say, hey, Bryn, have you looked at this a different way? Have you kind of looked at your DNA in it? Is there anything that you could have done to make it different? Because we're all human. And so I wanted to talk tonight a little bit about that. And more importantly, I wanted to talk about how you can be a friend and be honest and still do it with love and grace, because this is something that I fail at constantly. I fail at it with my friends, with my clients, with my team members, because I move very, very quickly. And I don't always have the time to slow down and think through and process how I want to deliver something. It just kind of goes blah. And I can leave an emotional wake that is pretty strong because of that. And so here's a 4-step process that he talks about in the book that I need to do a better job of living. And so this is a great exercise for us all to do together and all to go through these steps. So number 1 is to listen empathetically. And here are some key highlights that he says about that. Be observant. As much as 70% of our communication is nonverbal. So pay attention to the nonverbal cues that they're telling you. What's their energy like? How are they sitting? Are they closed off? Are they open? So looking for those nonverbal cues. Next is give your full attention. And I know we've all been a trap to this, especially now that we're all on Zooms and virtual. We think that nobody can see us typing or no one can see that text message we're sending. So making sure that your full attention is there, and if it can ever be perceived that your full attention is not there, that you explain why it's not there. Match their energy. Right? Have you ever been around someone when you may not be having the best day, but they're so stinking happy and they have rainbows and uniforms coming out of their behind? Yeah, don't do that. Match their energy. If they're low energy, be a little bit more aware of that. Don't come in a bull like in a shiner shop. And trust me, I'm talking to myself right now. Offer micro validation. So again, this is still while you're listening. And by offering micro validation, As you listen, you're actually validating their feelings. So things like, really, I can understand how you feel that way. I can understand your perception. I can understand that. No way. Seriously? So you're offering them little micro validations. And this is the hardest one for me. As someone that, I do this for a living, it's really difficult to not do this one. Don't try to fix it in the beginning. Just listen. Refrain from offering advice or feedback. That's going to come in step 3. So step 1, you're strictly listening, offering those micro validations. Now, step 2 is when you validate the emotion. Now, remember, people's feelings are valid. May not be right, may not be wrong, you may not agree, you may agree, doesn't matter. Their feelings are valid. So validate their emotion. Validate even if you disagree. You don't have to tell them you agree or disagree. Yet by validating even if you disagree, it lets them know that you're listening. It lets them know that you care, and then it allows you to open them up to receive the feedback in the next step. So validating their emotion. Are you not sure how they're feeling? Then ask them. Ask them. Don't be afraid to say, how are you feeling about it? How does that make you feel? I imagine you're pretty upset. I imagine that hurt quite a bit. Get them talking about the emotion so that they can get it out and they can validate it. And you can validate it because you know what it is. You can't validate an emotion that you don't know exists. If you can relate, if it's something that you've been through, then tell them that. Tell them that. I understand that you're going through that. I've been through something similar myself. Now, what I don't recommend doing is lying. So if you haven't been through it, then don't tell them that you've been through it. And it's okay to validate even if you haven't been through it. You can say, I've never been through that same situation yet, I can imagine. Or I've been through a similar situation in which I'm sure you felt the same way that I did. So validating it provides the comfort, whether you've been through it or not. It lets them know again that you care, it's a safe place, and what you're doing is you're teeing up the conversation to offer the feedback. And this is where I fail constantly. I skip 1, 2, and 3 because I don't want to slow down, because it takes time to listen. It takes time to validate. It takes time to do all of those things. And I want to go straight into number 3, which is offer advice or encouragement. I want to go straight into the advice. Now, offering feedback is optional. If you don't feel like you have feedback to give, don't give it. Don't give it. Just listen. Just validate. If you don't offer unsolicited advice, and we've talked about that. We've talked about that in a previous video. Remember, unsolicited advice is a form of criticism. You don't want to give unsolicited advice. You always want to ask. And something that one of my mentors taught me is that you never ask, can I be honest? Because by asking the question, can I be honest, you're making the person think, well, when are you not honest with me? Is there ever a time that you weren't honest? And so instead, maybe say, may I be candid with you? Asking, what are you expecting? What are they expecting from you? Do you want my input? Sometimes I have to ask my friends, do you want me to listen or do you want me to give you feedback? Do you want me to listen or do you want advice? And that way I know, okay, I need to just listen. And then when they're ready for advice, they'll ask it. Or no, that's why I called you. I know that you're always going to give me your advice. If you do give feedback, make sure you lead with a validating statement. So validate them first, then offer the feedback. Use and in front instead of but. A lot of us have learned that one. And then always keep it in the I. If you're using you, it can put them on the defense. I is going to keep them on the offense. So it lessens the likelihood of them becoming defensive. And then lastly, avoid absolutes when giving feedback. No nevers, no always. These are great reminders in corrective conversations. Also, if you're a leader, I know that sometimes we can get a little heated and emotional and we can say those words. And then the last step, so just to recap for a minute, and by the way, guys, if you want to see more of these, you can visit my YouTube channel. By the way, this is coming from my team. You know me, I never promo myself really. So if you want to see more, go to my YouTube channel, or you can drop your email in the comments and we'll get you on our mailing list so that you can get more content from us. So just to recap, step 1, listen empathetically. Step 2, validate the emotion. Step 3, offer advice or encouragement. And then step 4, you're going to validate again. So you're going to end with validation. So validating their emotion, asking if there's anything else that you can do, offering your vulnerability, sharing your personal thoughts, your personal stories. And again, for those of you that are like me, that are driver personalities, this is going to require us to slow down. And so sometimes we might need to give ourselves time to prepare for this and maybe keep these tips in front of us so that we go through the motions and we're forced to go through the motions. So my question to you is, do you have people in your life that aren't afraid to be honest, or do you have people that co-sign your BS? What happens for me is that when I have people that just tell me what they think I want to hear, I end up growing resentful and the friendship doesn't end well anyway. And so when I bring new people into my circle that are good, and I'm not talking about everyone in your life, I'm talking about that some of the five that we've talked about. Those people, you need to make sure that those people are always going to be honest with you and tell you the truth, and that they're not always going to side with you and co-sign your BS. Otherwise, you'll stunt your growth. So have a great week, guys. If you have a topic that you want to hear, drop it in the comments, or again, leave your email address and we'll make sure that you guys get other valuable content. I'm coming out with a blog that will be coming soon, so you'll definitely want to get on the list for that. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.